A real what?
Mom sit down talk video? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't watch Mom Sit Down Talk videos. Yes, you look like
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Francesca Day, and I'm a mom of 6, soon to be 7. This is my first trimester recap. Thought I'd go through some of the symptoms that I had this pregnancy, some of them that might have been different from some of my previous pregnancies, and the survival tips I have to get through early pregnancy. I want to start with the big reveal, how we found out, and how we told the family. So funny enough, I had actually been checking quite a bit. My cycle was very wonky. There was no rhyme or reason to it. They were really long, then really short, and so they were all over the place. So I had the Amazon box of pregnancy tests. So I was testing left and right to try to figure out what was going on. After I used up all of my pregnancy tests, I told myself I was just going to be done. I was going to just give myself time to just rest. After I rested, I would then buy another big box and figure out from there. But what ended up happening is I got a little curious, but also my son actually came up to me and he told me, "Mommy, you have another baby in your belly." I was like, "No, I just checked a couple days ago and there's no baby." But I had ordered pregnancy tests and I decided it wouldn't hurt to check. A couple nights later, I got a box of pregnancy tests and I decided just double check that I wasn't pregnant. And lo and behold, there was a very faint line. I was pretty surprised. Instead of going through the motions of waiting to tell the kids and keeping it a secret, I decided my 9-year-old was old enough to know how pregnancy tests work. I gave her a little bit of a talk about it, what was going on, the baby being in there now. I made it more fun for her also, getting to really look at the test. Together, we just squinted at this little pregnancy test. She was like, "I think I do see something, Mom. I think something's there." I was like, "No, there's nothing there." So together we just joked and we laughed. She ran and got her younger sister, who's 7, and she was like, "Come, Mom wants to show you something." So all of us 3 were sitting in the bathroom and we were squinting. We were like, "Is this not it?" And I told them, "Let's hold out. It's very possible that this pregnancy test, it's so faint, could totally be just an eye trick. Let's give it another couple days." So I put it on hold. We just giggled about it for the next couple days. I took another test, and this time it was very obvious that we were indeed pregnant with number 7. We very quickly just told the rest of the little kids. It was just our little family secret for a couple months. We went to a local pregnancy center and we got an ultrasound just to double check that baby was in the right spot because I had a history of ectopic and there was a really great heartbeat. I was about 6 weeks along and everything looked great. We decided to share with the whole family, and to do that we made the short little clip of the kids playing tug of war with the ultrasound, this live action fight scene to see who was going to be the tiebreaker. And we shot out that video with no context. Everybody was so happy for us. I actually wanted to pause here and talk about how I do not allow negativity about my pregnancies. If you're not excited for us and you give us negative comments, I don't leave you in my circle. I only have the people who are genuinely excited for us in my circle. I'm excited and I love that child, and I want whoever's in my circle to love that child too. If somebody's that negative and somebody gives you grief about having another baby, they don't deserve to be in your life. And not in a total cut-off way necessarily, but if they're not excited for you from the second you conceive that child, they don't get to change their mind when they meet the baby. I insist that my circle is excited about my family and bringing a new soul into this world every single time. I didn't allow the negative comments. I don't agree with that. Anyways, where are we? I do think letting everybody know early is a good thing. I've gone through miscarriage without telling anybody I was pregnant, and it was hard because I would get comments like, "Oh, when's the next one?" even though I just had a miscarriage. So I decided that I was just going to let everybody know early on. I asked them to pray for me. If it didn't end up working out, you just let them know. If I had done it alone, again, in the secret, there's no help and comfort when you lose a child to miscarriage if you keep hiding it. So we decided early on to let everybody know. That's just the way we looked at it this time. There are times in the past that I waited till the safe zone, but I don't agree with that anymore. All lives matter, even early conceived babies who don't make it. All of them are worthy of talking about. I think every baby should be celebrated, should be loved, and should be known. So this time we definitely let everybody know as soon as we found out, and it did work out. We are halfway now. We're super excited. I think it's worth telling everybody, even if you are 6 weeks. That's my rant. After I found out I was pregnant, I waited until I was 14 weeks before I decided to go to an OBGYN, and that was for a couple of reasons. One of them was just I knew the baby was in the right place. I saw the baby on the ultrasound. Everything looked great. It's just difficult to get a minute. When you've got 6 other kids at home, it could be difficult to take that time to go to your midwife or your OBGYN. So I decided to postpone that for as long as possible. Another reason on top of that is I was still dealing with a lot of postpartum anxiety after having my last baby, which is a whole nother topic I can get into, but everything measured right on track. Baby was doing great. Some of the symptoms were I had a lot of heartburn early on. I had a little bit of nausea, but it was the nausea that felt like a bowling ball in my stomach. It wasn't stomach bug nausea, which I've had that before. I had that with my first 2. This one was just an ache in my stomach. It was just there day in and day out. And the one thing that helped was making sure I got tons of protein. I ate eggs and sausage every single morning. I had heartburn. I had heart palpitations. I had a lot of heart palpitations, which landed me in a cardiologist's last pregnancy, but this time she gave me permission to ignore them, so I'm going to ignore them. I get pregnancy insomnia, so I will struggle to fall asleep, but then once I do fall asleep, I'll wake back up immediately, and then I'll struggle to fall asleep, and that happened up until about 9 weeks. Aside from that, there wasn't a whole lot of pregnancy symptoms. I did have fatigue, but I learned to ignore the fatigue with my last pregnancy because if I took a nap in the middle of the day, I couldn't sleep at night. And so after I got out of that cycle of taking a nap and not sleeping, I just overcame the fatigue in the middle of the day so I could sleep at night, and that helped. Lots of protein helped my nausea, and then not taking naps in the middle of the day helped my fatigue and my insomnia at night. So aside from that, I think that's all of my symptoms. There wasn't a whole lot this time. It was a fairly simple first trimester. Let's see. I will say, because I had that nausea, even just a little bit, I became kind of lazy as far as making dinners and lunches, so it was kind of a lot of survival mode. My kids ate a lot of peanut butter and jelly and granola bars, and we did a lot of spaghetti or last minute sandwiches for dinner. But also a big survival hack is do paper plates, plastic cups, and plastic forks and spoons. You don't need to add dishes on top of all the other things you're dealing with, the fatigue and the nausea. For the first 3 months of my pregnancy, we only ate from paper plates, plastic forks, and plastic cups. We didn't use a single dish, and my kids are fine. Our homeschool time did super drop. We lost a lot of time doing homeschool. We did a lot of just quick lessons where the kids just did independent work, or it would just be a lot of reading or YouTube videos. We didn't do a whole lot of just book work, but we've mostly caught back up since then, and it's just one of those things. To crawl out of bed and do homeschool just was on a back burner type of thing. But we pick it back up once I felt better in the second trimester. Did I have hormonal fluctuations? I probably did. It's funny because when you're going through them, you don't notice them as much, and then you look back and you're like, who was that? I think I had a little bit of hormonal fluctuations. I would be sad or cry over silly things, but it's kind of a running joke in my family that I'm a robot. So when I do have early pregnancy hormones, it's basically how a normal woman would have hormones. At least that's what my husband says, unless he's lying to me. But I didn't have a whole lot of hormonal fluctuations. I did have a couple breakdowns. I don't think I went through anything super crazy. And then as far as things like, and what I do for the prenatals I take and the supplements that I take, right now I just take the Garden of Life, I think that's still what it's called, Garden of Life prenatals. There was a lot of controversy over that one because it swapped from saying folate to folic acid, but it's all organic ingredients, so I don't think they're adding folic acid. I think that they're just labeling it as folic acid because that's what women are looking for. But I found the bottle that still says folate, so that's the one I've been using. And then I take magnesium every single day, and I try to take potassium, but that one's a here and there type of thing. And then as far as my diet and what we eat right now, it's all over the place. It's the holidays, so we had Thanksgiving and we've got Christmas coming up. But I did try to up my protein a lot. I did a lot of protein shakes, a lot of peanut butter and apples, a lot of Greek yogurt, a lot of eggs. And so I think our overall, I just really increased protein. This time we are not finding out gender. We're going to be team green until the end, which is gonna be so exciting. It's our tiebreaker, so we'll get to see. I think if we get to do the home birth, we're gonna do the big reveal to the kids. I don't know, it's just gonna be so fun. How will we fit all the car seats? Our 15-passenger van, it definitely has enough space. Right now we just have each of the youngest ones in the middle of each row, so we might have to add the 4th bench back into our van, but there's plenty of space in our car for another couple kids, so we're pretty set there. What are the hopes for my 2nd trimester? Oh, I'm already almost done with my 2nd trimester. Oh, I gotta do an update on that too. So far everything's been going great and I have no real expectations for it. I think that's all the questions that I had written down, but as far as the 1st trimester, it was very smooth. Compared to some of my previous pregnancies, I am very blessed that this one went as nicely and smoothly as it did. It could have gone a lot worse. The baby's doing great, I'm doing great. I feel him or her all the time now, which is very reassuring. But I thought I'd sit down and give you a quick recap of my 1st trimester. And then now I guess I have to do my 2nd trimester as well. If you enjoyed this video, stick around because in a couple months we're going to find out if it's a girl or if it's a boy. And we will see who the tiebreaker is for our family. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and follow along.